If you look closely at your next box of chicken nuggets, you'll notice something strange. They aren't random. Sort through enough boxes and you'll start to see the same pattern. Four shapes: the boot, the ball, the bell, and the bone. And once you notice it, you can't unsee it. Every box, every order, the same four shapes over and over again. And it's not just for looks, it's engineering. Each nugget is designed to cook at the same rate, same size, same surface area, same thermal behavior, because when you're frying thousands at once, even small differences matter. If one nugget is just a little thicker, it won't cook through in time, too thin, and it overcooks before the others are done. So instead of dealing with randomness, they removed it entirely, which is how a system like this can produce thousands of nuggets every minute, with almost no variation. But this didn't start in a corporate boardroom. It started with a food scientist trying to solve a completely different problem. In the early 1960s, the poultry industry had an issue. People loved chicken, but only certain parts of it. Chicken breasts were in high demand, but the rest of the bird was harder to sell, and that imbalance was costing producers money. So, a Cornell researcher, Robert Baker, looked for a solution. His goal wasn't to invent fast food, it was to make chicken more usable, more flexible, more profitable for the entire bird. His idea was simple: take less popular cuts and turn them into something new, something easy to cook, easy to eat, and easy to sell. But there was a problem, a technical one. When you coat meat in batter, then freeze it, then fry it, the breading falls off. And for years, no one had really solved that. So Baker did. He discovered that by grinding chicken with salt, he could extract a natural protein called myosin. That protein makes the surface sticky enough for batter to bond to it and stay attached through freezing and frying. It was a breakthrough. And he used it to create something he called chicken crispies. And then he gave it away. No patent, no royalties, no ownership. He published everything in agricultural bulletins so anyone could use it. He wasn't trying to build a brand, he was trying to solve a problem. But if the solution existed in the 1960s, why didn't nuggets take off until later? The answer starts with a failure. In the late 1970s, McDonald's was looking for a new finger food. Something portable, something dippable, something you could eat on the go. And their first idea wasn't chicken. It was onion nuggets. Deep fried, battered onion chunks, served in a box. And for a moment, they thought it might work. But it didn't. People didn't want onions as the main item, but the idea itself was solid, portable, crispy, dippable. They just needed a better base. Around the same time, there was a cultural shift happening. In 1977, the US government released a report encouraging people to eat less red meat and more poultry. And suddenly, fast food chains built on burgers had a reason to change. But chicken had a problem. Bone-in pieces took too long to cook, and they were messy, not ideal for a drive-through. So McDonald's took Baker's idea and scaled it. Working with Tyson, they refined the process for mass production. Ground chicken, formed into uniform shapes, designed for consistency. Which brings us back to those four shapes. They exist for one reason: control over cooking, control over texture, control over timing. Because in high-speed frying, everything depends on predictability. Hot oil needs to move through each piece at the same rate. If one nugget behaves differently, the whole system breaks. So the shapes are engineered to behave the same. And that consistency is what makes the entire system possible. Today, that system operates at massive scale. The chicken is processed, mixed, and formed into thousands of identical pieces every minute. Each one moves through a waterfall of batter, then breading, then into a fryer for a quick pre-cook, just enough to set the coating. Then they're flash frozen, locking everything in place, and shipped around the world. At the restaurant, they're fried again for just over 3 minutes, bringing them to a safe temperature and creating that familiar crisp texture. And when you take a bite, everything is intentional: the crunch, the texture, the flavor. Easy to eat, easy to repeat, which is exactly the point. Because in the end, the chicken nugget looks simple, but behind it is decades of food science, manufacturing, and optimization, all hidden inside four tiny shapes. It's not just fast food, it's geometry you can dip in sauce.